Alright, we're going to step away from the template thing for just a minute, and we're going to look at a little presentation tip. I'm going to actually give you two, because the thing is, at some point you're going to have to be able to show your clients your work, your templates, your storybook layouts. But there's two different ways to do it. One if they're in your office, and there's another one if you're going to be emailing it to them. We'll start with they're at your office and they've stopped by to look at the proofs. Let's go ahead and open some photos here. I want to open up 6 photos by clicking on the first one, hold the Shift key, and select all the rest. Then when I click Open, Photoshop will open them all. There they go. Okay, so these are the proofs that we want to show our client. Well, there's a little mode that you can switch into that will allow you to basically display this image centered on your screen on a black background, and you can kind of do a little manual slideshow. The reason I like this is this: when your client comes in and you've got palettes and stuff in the way and a toolbar and all this, I notice that clients get really distracted. They look at all this different stuff, they go, hey, is that Photoshop? What the heck is that? You know, they start getting really like they're not looking at the photography anymore. They're looking at your computer. They're wondering how you do all this. I don't really want to show them what's going on behind the curtains. So I call this presentation mode. There's a technical name for it, like full screen mode or something like that. But I want to show you first how to get in it, what it does, how to use it, and how to get back out. So that's the first part, is how to show people, in your office. Here's what you do. You hold the Shift key and you click on this little third icon right over here. I'm going to zoom in a little so you can see it. That icon right there. See the little icon, third one over there? Let's just move over a bit. There it is, that one right there. All right, we're gonna click on that. Shift click on that third one. When I shift click on it, I haven't clicked yet, but when I shift click, the screen will go black, and then the image is in the center of your screen. Then I'm going to press the Tab key, and that hides everything else. Now, when I'm done with this, I'm going to rearrange things so you can see what your client will see when they walk around behind your computer. Of course, do all this before your client actually sees the screen. So they come in, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, let me show you the images. Go do this first before you allow them to come behind your screen. So you hit Shift and click that little button, then press the Tab key, and now it's time to do our thing. I'll show you what it looks like when it's centered. Okay, here's what your client will actually see now that it's all centered on the screen, and it will be centered automatically. Basically, the menus are hidden, the toolbars and palettes are hidden, and your image is on a black background ready to be seen. Now, how do you go to the next image? All you do is press Control Tab and it shows the next photo. Okay, so basically it's a manual slideshow. Control Tab, Control Tab, Control Tab, and it basically cycles you through. The faster you go, the faster. So if you're really fast on a keyboard, you can really make it annoying for your clients. You have complete control. Just Control Tab to move to the next one. Now, how do you get out of that? How do you get out of this mode? How do you get back to regular Photoshop? Well, it's very easy. All you do is first you start off by hitting the Tab key, which makes the palettes visible again. All right, not the menus, but just the palettes and the tool palette or the toolbar. Now what you're going to do is, remember how we got into this mode? We hit Shift and click the third icon here at the bottom. To get out of this mode, you're going to hold Shift and click this one right here. And when you do that, it'll take you out of this mode. Watch. And this is basically the regular look that you've come back to now that you shift-clicked right here. So those are the images. So that's what you do when you want to show somebody a presentation in your office. You switch to that mode, show them a little slideshow, and then when they walk away, you switch back. Okay, now, what if you're going to email them a presentation? What if you want to get that same look, that same kind of black background, and let them focus on what you're doing, and you want them to be able to see your slideshow no matter what platform they're on? They don't have to have Photoshop. You want them to just be able to look at it. Well, there's a built-in thing in Photoshop that'll let you do that. Go under the File menu, under Automate, and you're going to choose PDF Presentation. All right, this is what it's going to basically do is it's going to make a slideshow, a self-contained slideshow that anybody will be able to open and watch in the PDF format. Okay, and the PDF reader, the reader that's on that opens these photos, is on virtually every machine on the planet Earth. So they'll be able to just double click and open it because PDF is the standard for business documents in the world today. Okay, so we're going to choose PDF presentation, and it's going to bring up this PDF window. The first thing it's going to ask, okay, what files are we adding to this presentation? We already have all the files open, so we're going to click this checkbox called Add Open Files, and here comes the There's the images for the client slideshow. All right, down here under output options, by default it thinks that you want to create a multi-page document, but no, that's not what you want. You want to create a presentation. All right, you want to view it after you're done so you can see what it looks like. You can choose how many seconds you want the slide to be on screen. You can choose to have it loop over and over again until the cows come home. Or you can, and you can choose which transition you like. These are transitions like you'd see in video, like dissolves and wipes and things like that. We will choose from the pop-up menu, we'll choose a random transition. So every slide looks slightly different as it appears. All right? Now, you click Save, and it asks you to basically name this thing. So we'll call it Slideshow. How's that? All right, or Slideshow 1. Now, here's the thing. When I click Save, it brings up yet another thing, the PDF Options Dialog. This is basically where you decide what the quality is going to be. I generally choose JPEG for the compression, and I choose a pretty nice high quality, something like 10, because it compresses these files so small that it's not going to be a problem to email it, no sweat. But I'll tell you what's going to be a problem. Do I really want to take a chance of emailing my client the photos? Because if I email my client a bunch of high-resolution photos, they might just steal them from me and print them out themselves, right? Right. Okay, so I don't want them to be able to basically go into like Acrobat, take out the photos, put them in Microsoft Office and print them or something. I don't want them to be able to get it, basically the high resolution photos all, and worse than that, I don't want them to print them. I don't want them just to open it in Acrobat and hit print, out come my beautiful color photos. No, they have to pay me for that. So what you want to click on is right here, PDF Security. Click on PDF Security, and then you'll see the Security Settings button appears. Click on this, all right, PDF Security. Now, I don't want to make them have to have a password to open it. I'm emailing them so they can see it. I want them to open the document. But I do want to require a password for them to do anything else other than just look at it. In fact, I don't want them to print it. So I don't want any printing. I don't want any changing the document. I don't want them to be able to copy it. I don't want anything. Just they can't do anything but look at it. So it's going to ask you to put in a password. A good buddy of mine has a great password that he uses when he sends this to people, and it's pay me. Okay, so pay me. Now when you click OK, it's going to ask you to confirm that password, pay me, and then click OK. And what it's basically going to do is this: when I click OK, it is going to compress your images down, put them into one document, create a slideshow, and then it's actually going to show you the slideshow, and so you can see what it looks like before you send it to your client. So let's go ahead and click OK and see what happens. Oh, I guess it looks like we have to click OK one more time, because one OK certainly is not enough. So here's what your client will see. It's a slideshow very much like the one you showed them in your office, but it's on their computer, and you can see there's some transitions, so the images will come in and appear differently. See how they kind of come in there and they kind of add a little bit of interest, so it looks like you sent them something more elaborate than you actually did. But that's it. This is their version of a dissolve. There we go. And one by one it goes through the images, and when it gets to the end it will just basically stop. But that's it. That is the PDF presentation. Now, when it's done, they can hit escape or something like that. Let's go ahead and hit escape so we can get an idea how to get out of this. So let's say you have kind of a savvy client. They hit escape and they're in the Acrobat Reader or Acrobat Pro, and they go, hey, I'm going to print these out. So they go into the file menu, they go to print, and that's right, baby, print is grayed out. They can't get to print because before you send them the file, you actually put a lock on that. Remember, we said no printing allowed. So it kind of protects you from that aspect. Now, the other great thing about this is, of course, it's self-contained. It's easy to email, but the file size is very small. File size for this particular document is only 288K, little more than half a meg. Not bad. So it'll go pretty quick regardless of how you're sending it to your client, high speed or otherwise. You'll be able to get this to them pretty quickly because of the small file size. So think of all the things it does. It compresses your files. It gives you the slideshow. It centers it on a black background. They can open it on any platform oh, the reader's free, by the way. If for some strange reason they don't have the Adobe Acrobat Reader, just called the Adobe Reader, you can go to adobe.com and download it for free for any operating system there is. Again, it's all compressed into this one slideshow, and anybody can read it. So just a great way. So there's two different ways. One way when they're in your office, and the second way when you want to email it to them.